I'll pause. Let me continue. It's a beautiful Thursday morning right here in the nation's capital. My name is Cynthia Agbo. I am so happy. In fact, there is joy in my heart to be with you this morning. I have so waited for this. Okay. Backtrack.
I wonder what is the source of the happiness. I wonder what is inspiring that excitement.
What?
Probably there's some $1 million deal you just signed. I don't know. Maybe you just got invitation to vacay in the Maldives or something. I don't know. Maybe you got an information from the production manager that you're going to be, you know, going on a vacation for 1 week, all expense paid trip.
Wow.
Or maybe there's someone who is willing to take you on a shopping spree. I really don't know. I'm just considering a lot of possibilities. You know, what's excitement? Or could it just be, you know, having to see my handsome face yet
No,
again?
you're not even part of it.
I mean, I'm just throwing up all of the options.
Throw other
And
options.
I feel like
yourself.
this one should be like top on the list. Because I mean, who wouldn't want to see my face first thing in the morning, you know? So, yeah.
No.
I can understand if you were excited. I can understand if you're starstruck, you know.
You want to reduce my happiness by half.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's Thursday. And Thursday happens to be a beautiful day. And we're going to make sure that you enjoy your day. Or rather, we're going to make sure that you enjoy the show, whichever time you get to watch it. All right? And from wherever you get to watch it. So, it's important for us to start with your health because, like I always say, health is wealth. And how would you feel? Imagine one day goes by and we don't give you health. I mean, it's not a Saturday or Sunday and we don't give you health. Come on. You have to remind us. So, on health this morning, we're going to be giving you 8 signs that your body needs a detox. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. 8 signs that your body needs a detox. I'm definitely sure that you watched carefully, listened carefully, and assessed yourself. So you get to pay attention more going forward to yourself to know if I actually need this, or I might be needing this, or when eventually you start feeling the signs, you might get to know that yes, this is what it is. All right. I think today is a beautiful day to check up some of the things that we might have missed. And it's a Thursday, so let's start with this throwback Thursday. Let's check it out.
What is it?
Auntie Tola is ill. They want me to send 350 naira home.
So? And what about Tolu's school fees? You promised to give it to me today.
This is more urgent. Your brother's school fees can wait.
No, it can't wait. It's only 150 naira. Please let me have it.
Try and be reasonable.
I said no! You've promised to give it to me today. And besides, the boy may lose his chance for sitting for his GCE if he doesn't pay up by tomorrow. You know that?
We can talk to the principal and explain
No,
it.
Tunde, if you know you're not going to pay, just let me know. Then I will know your family comes first and mine is unimportant.
You know that is not true.
Already your nephew John is waiting for you in the other room. John! Your uncle is home.
Welcome, Uncle.
John, what do you want here, Nick?
Now, job I can't find, Uncle. Papa say make I stay with you for some time.
You think it's easy to find jobs in Lagos?
Papa say he go help me, care. After all, I'm a big man.
You people will ride a willing horse to death.
That was the landlord. He says to remind you that the house rent is overdue. 250 naira.
Ah! Oh, Pario!
Police say this.
Okay. So that was 1984.
Oh my goodness.
School fees 150 naira.
Uh,
House rent 250 naira. 5 cup of gari 1 naira.
If I speak, I'm in trouble because I don't even know where to start. But we certainly have come a long way. We certainly have seen things. Well, I probably wouldn't put myself in that wee bracket because I wasn't here 40 years ago. Yeah. But I'm sure that lots of aged Nigerians and most people who are around, some people will talk about the good old days. My dad talks about some of the things that he was able to buy back in those days and how much they used to spend for, everyday items. Talk about buying milk for 2 naira, buying milk for 1 naira.
It was way lesser. Way lesser.
How did they make it happen? How did our economy get so terrible that, right now in Abuja,
It's innovation. I think that
it's innovation.
Every society evolved, right? Just like how we have, based on history and the evolution of man, we have the days where they say, oh, people were living in caves, but now people are no longer living in caves. The caves have been replaced with modern houses. That's the way it is. Then we have technology. Those days people had to there were no much cars. In fact, there was a time there were no even cars, right? And then we got to a point where there were cars. And even when there were cars, not everyone could afford cars. Some of our great-grandparents, our grandparents,
You could
had to
buy
walk
them for as low as 500.
500 what?
500 naira.
But are you aware that even as low as 500, it was only the 1% of the 1% that could afford it. Others could go for a bicycle, and even those that had a bicycle were referred to as the middle class. Some of our great-grandparents, our grandparents, some of them had to walk miles to go to school, right? Because you probably have maybe in one location, you have like maybe 1 or 2 schools, right? So you have to walk miles to get to that school. Can you do that today? No.
Yeah.
So it comes with the time.
You have a point. There is some sort of evolution or civilization, if you want. But it doesn't also take away attention from the fact that our currency has been so much devalued that a lot of money can now purchase so little goods. Before, it was at least you had very little money. And you could still manage to afford the most basic things. But right now, even with what some people would call a fair salary, even with what some people would call a fair income, people still find it hard to make ends meet. Like
even in those days,
we would
it was
always
there.
say.
Now look at that
But
video.
it's more intense now.
Okay.
Economists will tell you inflation, where a lot of money, is purchases very little goods or can solve very few problems, and that is not a very good look. I'm sure if you ask at that time what was the naira dollar exchange rate, it was probably $1 to probably 1 naira. Or something like that, or maybe 100 naira, or something actually really fair. But unfortunately, we are where we are, and hoping, praying that somehow would get out of whatever it is, get to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, let's quickly look at the papers this morning before we move on to the next thing we have. If we have the papers, let's check out some of the stories on our national dailies this morning. We'll start off with Vanguard. Cholera, federal government shopping for emergency vaccine. And can we please have it bold up, please? As Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases in 32 states. NCDC. Poor sanitation, contaminated water, reason for spread. This is coming from the Governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu. Display product essential information, Lagos government direct stores. We also have the Ojezua loses bid to disqualify Igodalo. And on insecurity, 2,600 killed, 50 communities record 135 attacks in Benue. This coming from Amnesty International. And okay, let's move on.
Continue with the Punch newspaper, and the big headline there: Dangote refinery crude supply crisis threatens all investments. Operators warn federal government. And there's a rider there on investors' confidence. Dangote allays fears over refinery fire. Above the masthead of the Punch: stress test on banks necessitated recapitalization. That's coming from the CBN. Government and ASU meet to avert strike in universities. Federal government banks begin talks on nationwide broadband rollout. Just beside the masthead of the Punch: 423 billion naira theft. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly, challenges probe. Yes, indeed, that rider there on the Dangote refinery. Federal government urged to deepen investors' confidence. And I think that's about it on the Punch newspaper this morning.
On The Guardian, high costs of care hits public hospitals, uninsured patients. Northeast, home to over 2 million uneducated children, says UNICEF. And Nigeria recorded 75,000 new HIV infections in 2023, says NACA. A shadow of presidential aircraft hangs over NAS emergency sitting today. And hundreds of APC members decry hunger, decamp to PDP in Ondo. All right, let's move on.
The Nation is up next. Banks face tough conditions in recapitalization drive. President backs NDLEA Save Our Families advocacy campaign. We have federal government moves to avert shutdown of varsities. We also saw that story on the Punch. Oyo lawmakers at daggers drawn with Speaker. Please plan data centers for 774 council headquarters. And okay, those are some of the headlines on the Nation newspaper, the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, moving on to leadership. 4 months after federal government foot drags on merger of MDAs, and Nigeria sends 177 peacekeeping soldiers to Guinea-Bissau. Dangote refinery fire contained, operations ongoing. And something there, Tinubu rally support for drug war. And out of school children drops by 1 million in Northeast. This is also coming from the UNICEF. Can we take one more?
All right, New Telegraph, 2023 budget. Lawmakers in dilemma over capital appropriation. That particular story has a rider which says to extend decision on implementation. Request could make it a bit bolder. Seems okay. Request allegedly forwarded by Tinubu as initial deadline ends in 3 days. There's a story on Shetima and a couple of other stories on the front page of New Telegraph this morning.
All right, let's move on to sports if there's any. Let's have sports. Okay. I think there's none. Let's just go on a short break. We'll be right back.
morning. Thank you for joining us this morning on the Morning Tonic you ingest once every 24 hours, Monday to Friday, right here on this channel. Start time channel 176. Ugochukwu Madimiri is my name. There's quite a lot on the front burner. News regarding the Nigeria Premier Football League, where we have the date for the resumption of the new season or next season already put forward by chairman of the NPFL, Gbenga Elegbeleye. And of course, we're looking forward, counting down now in a matter of hours before the kickoff of the oldest football competition here in Nigeria. It's none other than the FA Cup, or what we now know as the President's Federation Cup. And of course, the Euro still ongoing in Germany, Copa America still on, a couple of results filtering in. We're into the round of 16 for the Euros, and Wimbledon on the way. This and many more on the show this morning. Well, without further getting delay and without much ado, let's get on to the main event, where the Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL has announced the kickoff date for the 2024-2025 football season. This was disclosed on the official handle, Twitter handle or X handle, I beg your pardon, of the league, saying next season will kick off on the 31st of August 2024. This is coming from the NPFL chairman, Gbenga Elegbeleye. Rangers International were crowned champions of the just concluded 2023-2024 season. And of course, there have been lots of victory parades by the Rangers team, saluting their fans, thanking them for their support in winning the league, and hoping they can count on that support yet again for the upcoming season. Now, moving forward, Abia Warriors became the first of the 4 finalists in the 2024 President's Federation Cup Grand Finale to arrive in Lagos, and coach Bethel Oji has no doubt that his Umuahia Giants will come good on Saturday at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. Well, you know what they say, trying to be the first to arrive in Lagos, well, does it mean you're going to win? First to arrive doesn't mean you're going to win. But then again, it's good to arrive on time, try to get used to the pitch and all of that. Well, it is Abia Warriors' first ever Federation Cup final, and both players and officials are in inspired mood to pluck the diadem. Well, coming from Bethel Oji, who is, of course, the coach of the side, he says, we are here and we are highly motivated, we're elated. Thank God for the turnaround in the fortunes of the team. Well, if Abia Warriors wins this particular one, remember, it's a battle of warriors against El Kanemi Warriors. Well, they would be representing Nigeria, one of our representatives in the CAF Confederation Cup competition alongside Eimba. What it now means is that we will have 2 Abia-based clubs in continental football next season. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. The finals of the competition has not been played yet. 90 minutes will decide if it's Abia Warriors who will be joining Eimba, or if it's going to be El Kanemi Warriors. Well, Abia Warriors reached the men's final 4 days after ensuring that they will play in the Nigeria Premier Football League for the 12th consecutive season come next season. Yes, indeed, since Abia Warriors gained promotion rather to the NPFL, they have never been relegated. Now, let's talk athletics for a moment, as the competition in Douala eventually came to a close yesterday, and it was Kenya that emerged champions. Team Kenya have emerged champions of the 2024 Senior Athletics Championship in Douala, Cameroon, just as Nigeria came third after amassing more medals on the last day of the competition with 13 medals. Team Nigeria on Wednesday grabbed 1 more gold medal to finish third, a similar position the country occupied at the 2022 edition, which held in Port Louis, Mauritius. Nigeria also finished third on the overalls medal table with 11 medals. That's 5 gold, 3 silver and 3 bronze medals behind Kenya and South Africa. Well, at the end of the hostilities at the Japoma Stadium, Douala, Nigeria secured 5 gold, 4 silver and 4 bronze medals, with most of the medals coming from the female athletes who won 4 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze medals. Their male counterparts got only 2 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze medals. Remember that 2 years ago in Mauritius, Team Nigeria saved its best for the last day of the competition, winning 4 medals across both track and field events. And in Douala yesterday, the women's 4x400 meters relay grabbed the gold medal. Their male counterparts finished 4th. United States-based sprinter Alaba Akintola could not match the speed of his co-competitors in the 200 meters final as he finished 6th. Among the athletes who defended their titles in Douala, we have Chukwuebuka Enekwechi, who won the men's shot put event. He won the title at Asaba 2018 and retained that particular title in Mauritius 2022, and he just also defended that particular title now in Douala 2024. Well, one major setback that Nigeria had in Douala was Amusan's inability to defend her 100 meters hurdles due to illness. Nigeria was hoping to grab 2 gold medals in the women's 100 meters and 200 meters, but it was dashed after United States sprinter Favour Ofili pulled out of the championships. And remember that when Nigeria hosted the event in 2018 in Asaba Delta State, she finished 3rd. And that's talking about not Tobi Amusan now, but Temitokwe Adesina, who lost the gold to her Ghanaian challengers in the high jump event. She grabbed the silver medals 2 years ago in Mauritius. Now, this is the full list of all of our athletes and the different medals that they won. For gold medal, we have in the men's shot put, Chukwuebuka Enekwechi. We have women's discus, gold medal secured by Ashley Anumba. Ese Brume won gold in the women's long jump. Women also won gold in the 4x100 meters relay. Tobi Amusan managed to be a part of that one. And in the women's relay, 4x400 meters, we also won gold. And then in silver, we have Shade Olatoye bringing in silver in the women's hammer. We also had the mixed relay, that's both men and women now in the 4x400 meters. We won silver in that one. In the men's javelin, Chinechere Prosper Nnamdi was also victorious. Women's discus, we had Obiageria Mechi in the women's high jump, Temitokwe Adesina, and the men also got a silver in the 4x100 meters relay. Well, in the bronze medal category, we had Chioma Onyekweri winning a bronze in the women's discus. Goodness Iradia winning bronze in the men's long jump. We had Samuel Ogazi winning in the men's 400 meters, and of course Esther Elo Joseph winning bronze in the women's 400 meters as well. Well, the 23rd African Senior Championships will go down in history as one of the most well, this is actually coming from some of the athletes that it was not so much. There was not a lot of organization. This is the testimony coming from a good number of the elite athletes, and you could understand because some of them have seen athletics at the highest level, so they would expect some level of organization, some level of arrangement, as it were. But unfortunately, the African Senior Championships in Cameroon did not deliver exactly what they anticipated. Hopefully, in the next edition of the African Senior Athletics Championship, which will hold at the University of Ghana, Legon, Accra, in 2026, amends will be made. And now, away from athletics, moving on to more important matters, let's go to Europe now, where, of course, we had the conclusion of the group matches yesterday, where surprisingly Georgia secured a historic place in the knockout stage of the Euro 2024 after a stunning 2-0 win over Portugal, even with the presence of Cristiano Alvaro dos Santos Ronaldo, while Turkey, Belgium, Romania and Slovakia are all advanced to the last 16 as the group stage came to an end. Well, appearing at their first European Championship, Georgia had to record their first ever victory at the tournament to reach the last 16 when they played Portugal in Gelsenkirchen. Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal had already qualified. Of course, they had won their first 2 group games, and Georgia went ahead inside the opening 2 minutes thanks to a fine finish from their star player, Napoli winger Vicha Kvaratskhelia, and he did score just 2 minutes into the match. It was really beautiful to see. George Mekaduts, who set up the goal, made it 2-0 from the penalty spot early in the second half. Well, a really frustrating night for Portugal, who were denied on several occasions by Georgia's impressive goalkeeper, Georgi Mimadashvili. Well, the 39-year-old Ronaldo, who has Euros record tally of 14 goals, was left still waiting for his first at this year's competition. Georgia, ranked 74th in the world, will now play much fancied Spain in the next round on Sunday in Cologne, having progressed as one of the 4 best third-placed sides. Remarkable achievement there for Georgia. Turkey finished second in the same group after a 2-1 win over the Czech Republic in Hamburg as their opponents were eliminated. Cenk Tosun's goal in stoppage time really dramatic, actually, sealed the victory for Turkey, who had been playing with an extra man since the 20th minute sending off of Antonin Baraka. Hakan Kakagnoğlu's superb strike puts Turkey ahead in the second half before Thomas Suchek leveled for the Czech, for whom Thomas Shori was also shown red after the final whistle. Well, Turkey will now play Austria in the last 16, while 2016 champions Portugal go to Frankfurt for a game on Monday against Slovenia. Earlier in a dramatic finish to Group E, war-torn Ukraine were left heartbroken as they went out despite picking up 4 points. It was actually an interesting turnout of events right there in Group E because all of the 4 nations finished with 4 points. Romania's 1-1 draw with Slovakia secured the points they both needed to progress, while Ukraine's brave effort in a goalless draw with Belgium was not enough. All 4 sides ended the section on 4 points, but Ukraine paid for their 3-0 defeat to Romania in their opening game as they finished bottom on goal difference. And you could say it's not been a really interesting tournament for the Belgian national team, and you wonder when exactly they're going to show the form for which they get all of their reputation as the golden generation of Belgian football and all of that. A team comprising and boasting of the likes of players that they have in their ranks: the Lukaku, De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku, Leandro Trossard, and yet it is still quite underwhelming, the performance that we see from the Red Devils game after game. Well, they would have an opportunity to make amends in the round of 16, but it's definitely not going to be an easy one because they are up against a World Cup finalist France right there. France against Belgium, I think, is the peak of the bunch in this round of 16 fixtures. We'll have Spain playing Georgia. Spain are 3-time winners of this competition. This is the first time that Georgia would be making an appearance in the round of 16. Germany, 3-time winners as well against Denmark. Portugal, winners in 2016 versus Slovenia. We have France up against Belgium. The 3 Lions, who were finalists the last edition, up against Slovakia. Romania up against Netherlands. Austria, managed by Ralf Rangnick, will be locking horns with Turkey. And of course, we have defending champions, the Italians, up against Switzerland. And let's talk about England for a moment. A lot of their fans have been calling them out. Not really happy with their performance so far. Yes, they have managed to get into the second round of the competition where they're going to be up against Slovakia. But then again, their performance in the group stage has not been exactly convincing. Now, news emanating from the camp of the 3 Lions indicate that Phil Foden has temporarily left England's Euro 2024 base in Germany to return home due to a pressing family matter, the English Football Association said on Thursday. Foden, who won Premier League Player of the Year accolades for his starting role in Manchester City's title triumph, has started all 3 of England's games at the tournament so far. Well, it remains to be seen whether the 24-year-old will be available for the 3 Lions' last 16 match on Sunday. Foden is just one of the number of England stars that have failed to replicate their club form at international level at the Euros. Well, it's a bit sad because in that squad we have the Premier League Player of the Year in Phil Foden. In that squad we have the Bundesliga top scorer in Harry Kane. In that squad we have what's his name again? Jude Bellingham, who was La Liga Player of the Season. In that squad, you had Cole Palmer, who was a top scorer in the Chelsea team, behind Erling Haaland in all of England for goals scored. In that squad, you have Trent Alexander-Arnold. In that squad, you have Declan Rice, who was bought for £100 million by Arsenal. I could go on and on. You have in that squad Kyle Walker, who is the captain of Manchester City. So what exactly is the problem with the 3 Lions? Why can't they replicate? Why can't Southgate get this young men to play together as a team and be able to get results? So far, it's 1 victory and 2 draws for the Three Lions, and only 2 goals scored. Well, there's a lot of expectation regarding the round of 16 game, but then again, you don't want to expect too much, because the last time that they even got to the final, it was not as if it was such a convincing run to the final. A couple of 1-0 wins here and there, penalty shootouts, and before you know it, they were in the final. So maybe that's exactly what's gonna happen here. But again, our prayers and thoughts are with Phil Foden. Whatever the family matter is, we hope that it will be sorted in no distant time. Well, let's go to Copa America now, where, of course, the U.S. is hosting the tournament at the moment. Lionel Messi, we understand, may sit out Argentina's next Copa America game against Peru to rest a sore tie with his team already qualified for the next round after 2 wins. Messi, who turned 37 this week and has been suffering muscle niggles, required brief medical treatment on his thigh during Argentina's 1-0 victory over Chile at the US-hosted tournament. Well, he completed the 90 minutes shaving the post with 1 long-range shot and was at the heart of Argentina's attacks. Well, with a 2-0 win over Canada, and also under their belt, world champions and tournament favorites Argentina are looking comfortable in the early stages of the Copa America, even if they are not at their scintillating best. They top Group A with 6 points, ahead of Canada on 3 points after their victory against Peru. So he might not just be part of that match against Peru, but let's inform you that Venezuela booked their place in the quarterfinals of the Copa America on Wednesday with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Mexico, if you like, that ensured Jamaica's elimination from the tournament. Mexico-based veteran striker Solomon Rondon stroked in the only goal from the penalty spot to seal all 3 points for Venezuela, who are top of Group B with 6 points from 2 games. Mexico, meanwhile, can qualify for the knockout rounds with victory over Ecuador in their final group game on Sunday, but the Mexicans will be left kicking themselves at their failure to take at least a point from yesterday's clash at the packed SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Mexico's Orbelin Pineda missed an 87th-minute spot kick that would have made it 1-1. His effort parried away by Venezuela goalkeeper Rafael Romo. Venezuela's win confirmed Jamaica's exit from the competition following their 3-1 loss to Ecuador in Las Vegas earlier on Wednesday. Well, Ecuador, beaten by Venezuela in their opening match on Saturday, held off a spirited second half rally by the Reggae Boys to claim a vital 3 points at the Allegiant Stadium. So those are some of the updates right there from US in with regards to the Copa America. Well, let's give you a little bit of boxing now, and just before we go to mainland Europe, where we have a couple of stories trending with regards to transfers, who's going where and for how much. Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua will face Daniel Dubois in an all-British showdown for the IBF World Heavyweight at Wembley on the 21st of September, after Alexander Usyk confirmed he was vacating the belt. Dubois is the IBF's mandatory challenger, and it was announced on Wednesday that he will go up against Joshua. Usyk, 37, became the first heavyweight to hold the IBF, WBO, WBC, and WBA belts when he beat Tyson Fury on a split decision in Saudi Arabia last month. Well, Britain's Lennox Lewis was the last man to unify the major heavyweight titles, 3 at a time, prior to Usyk in 1999. 2-time world champion Joshua has 28 victories and 3 losses during his career, while Dubois, 28, has won 21 out of his 23 fights. Well, let's round up this morning by letting you know that Chelsea have inquired about Newcastle's Alexander Isak, but would have to pay more than £115 million. This is absolutely ludicrous. To sign the 24-year-old Sweden striker, 115 million for Alexander Isak. What is going on? Newcastle are reluctant to see Isak leave and would rather sell Callum Wilson, with teams from England, Germany, and Saudi Arabia interested in the 33-year-old England striker. Bayern Munich are set to move for Everton's 22-year-old Belgium defender Amadou Onana after becoming frustrated in their efforts to sign Portugal midfielder João Palhinha from Fulham. Barcelona are interested in Manchester City's 24-year-old Argentina striker Julian Alvarez. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which owns 4 Saudi Pro League clubs, has made an approach for Arsenal's 31-year-old Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey. Arsenal have made a £10 million bid for Everton's Ben Godfrey, while an unnamed club has offered £15 million for the 26-year-old England defender. Manchester United are considering selling the naming rights to Old Trafford to help raise funds. Well, things not really going very well there. Everton are close to signing 27-year-old Nigerian midfielder Wilfred Ndidi on a free transfer when his Leicester City contract expires next week. Well, Kelechi Iheanacho's contract has already expired. He's been freed, in fact, by Leicester City. We do not know where he's going to be playing next, and we understand that Wilfred Ndidi, his contract will be running out by next week, and there are talks about a move to Everton. Well, for Kelechi Iheanacho, there are speculations he could be going to Crystal Palace. But then again, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it pans out for 2 of our, wonderful players right there from the Super Eagles. There's still a lot more, but unfortunately, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Until tomorrow, when I will be back again with another scintillating edition of Rapid Sports. Do stay with us as the Breakfast Show continues.
All right, welcome back. It's still Rapid Dawn right here. And of course, we did tell you before we went on that break that we're having a guest in the studio this morning. And our conversation, don't worry, it's not minimum wage. It's not the problems of Nigeria. It's more like sorting out what some patterns, have been arguing about, the conversation that has been on, especially with the whole Davido Achoma marriage, and then someone says, oh, he's giving her peace, she's giving him peace of mind. And so this morning with our guest, we're going to be talking about the idea and concept of peace in a relationship. We're going to be looking at all the sides to it, and then we're going to be agreeing here on this set if peace is meant to be for only men. All right, so my guest in the studio is Idea David. He is a relationship expert, and he loves love. Welcome. Good to have you this morning.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. So let's start with peace, right?
Yeah.
And then looking at it in the concept of a relationship,
Okay.
man and woman relationship.
Yeah. Okay. Peace, in a simple terms to me, is the act of being free from threats of any kind, the act of being confident, the act of having the atmosphere of expression, constructive and positive expression without fear. Okay? So in a relationship, that is peace. Okay? That is peace. The situation where you are not afraid of anything, and there is nothing that is supposed to make you afraid in relationship. Simply, to me, that is peace.
Okay, if we had to go by that definition, that means so many women are not in a peaceful marriage or relationship.
Probably.
Okay, so let's now.
So many men are also not in a peaceful relationship.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh wow!
Yes, please.
No, we're not playing man and woman card here.
Yeah, of course.
Because from what you just explained, it therefore means that the people who should even be shouting peace are the women.
Not exactly. This thing is not a one-way thing. It's not a one-way thing. If, like a man now, there are some men that whenever they're closest from work and they remember they are supposed to go to the house, they start having fear. That isn't peace, right? And why would they have a fear for somebody that cannot beat them? Then there is an emotional imbalance there. And there is no comfortability in that kind of atmosphere. and you cannot see that the man does not have peace.
Peace.
And a situation where a woman have that kind of man that his presence is worse than the hell. Whenever it is time for the husband to come back from the work, she start having that fear. He's coming back again. Do you get? So you can see it's not a one-way thing.
But then again, how important is peace in a relationship? I'm going to follow that up with another question, but I want you to talk about that.
Peace is very, very important in a relationship, in the sense that without peace, there won't be progress. Without peace, there may be a future resultant of death. Without peace in a relationship, it may lead to divorce. Without peace in a relationship, it means it affects progress. It affects life and health. Okay? So peace is the paramount in a relationship. Peace is everything in a relationship.
Now, I was asking that because there are some people who believe that if it is not dramatic, then we're not having a great time in the relationship. In fact, that was a story about the wife of Kaka, a footballer, who left him. And when she was asked, she said that he was too perfect. He was too peaceful. No drama. I mean, there was nothing that prompted a little bit of back and forth. Do you get? So could it be that, you know, there's a scenario where as a person, I have a certain affinity for, you know, the dramatic. And, you know, because of that, it now affects the peace equation in the relationship.
Yes. That has to do with the foundation that brought them to where they are. That is why sometimes you don't just jump into a relationship because you have found somebody beautiful or somebody that has accepted you. So the drama of being able to do everything you like is not enough for the person to have your peace inside. So somebody can rehearse what they will practice with you even if it is 2 years. Yes. And after the 2 years, you may start seeing the real person. And we get a real person through blunders, not through intentional. That is why peace is obligatory and it's not personal in nature. So
come again. You said peace is obligatory.
And it's non-personal.
Okay.
Yeah, you see peace as something that you must do. And it's non-personal because you are not doing that thing because it makes you happy. But you're doing that thing because there is another person who it may affect.
So even if you have a flair for things to be a bit dramatic, but because you're interested in the sanctity of the relationship, you must maintain peace.
That's it. So, coming to the dramatic aspect of your question. So now, if you now met this person that she likes you shouting at her before she'll be okay, some people you must before she's okay, and you realize that you are not
like that.
You are not like that. But then this person loves you so much, okay? There are these people that
is it really love?
You know what people calculate as love is extreme commitment. The extreme commitment. You have done something that they are supposed to have taken action. They rather discuss. You have cheated, and they said I believe that you have changed. You are not doing well. They believe you will do well later. So people call it love. Okay. So now, when you meet this kind of person, the mind that you are having to believe that this person will change later is what is standing against the peace of that later. Because you are not to believe that somebody will change later. You are supposed to believe in what you are seeing in the person now, if it is okay or not. Because if one is not okay now, there are 3 that you have not seen. So you are accepting this person because this person does everything. She washes your clothes, she takes care of you, takes care of every of your needs, and she supports your business. And she's just a woman for you that does not complain, even though she sees you with 10 women. And you think that's okay. When it gets to a point where your originality starts clashing with her own originality, she would want you to change into a harsh man so she can be happy because she likes drama. And if it is not possible, it brings a breakup. And when people ask, they will talk the way she spoke. He is too of a gentleman for me. No, that wasn't the right answer. The right answer is that she wasn't the real person, but they misunderstood
in the relationship. She wasn't.
Yes.
So, but then now, right, idea. So now looking at all of these things you're saying, it sounds good, or sounds good. But now, let's say a person shows you who they are,
Yeah.
all the sides, the Idaboski Bahose
Yeah.
person, but then they really want you. And don't you think that that is what leads to people kind of, okay, let me just, and besides, we live in a society where people want women or men to be in a certain way. They have this idea of what a man should be.
Yes.
They have this, it's an idea
Yeah.
of what a woman should be.
Yes.
Even they're not exactly open to saying, okay, everybody's individual in their own way.
Yeah.
So because of the idea of how a woman should be, the woman puts up that persona, gives you what you want, because some men don't really know exactly what they want. They follow the idea of what the society say a woman should be.
Yes.
And so they end up seeing that idea in that lady because she wore it, because she wants the man. So is it now the person's fault for putting up that personality because it's what they want?
No. I would have said there is a challenge, but then there is not.
Okay.
You see, I know of somebody who has something that I didn't want. Okay, but
You know somebody, or your...
I know of somebody who has something that. So at a point, I discovered that out of 100%,
Okay.
you see this person having 80. This 80 is, she's just good, and it has made her all right. Okay? Then to you now, to the society, the 80 is correct. Then to you now, that remaining 20 is an error.
It's the most important for you.
It's the most important for you. So I think that the man, if you want peace, you should look less of yourself and look more of what is right. Because if you enjoy your conductor shouting and embarrassing passengers, it's an attitude. And because you enjoy it, you have forgotten that he may shout at you tomorrow because it is still him with his attitude. So, what you expect from your woman that is not correct, but that's how you wanted it, tomorrow that thing may become a mar to you. And that is why people come to complain later. And I also tell some ladies that you don't treat a man the way you see him. You treat him the way it is right.
You know, it's good you made this point, because you listen to a lot of ladies and even what they put out on social media.
Yeah.
They tell you, oh, it's the man who takes care of me that deserves peace. It's the man who makes sure that there's money for food, the house rent is sorted and well taken care of. That's the man that can enjoy peace. But is that how it should be?
They have gotten it all wrong. A lot of people that said that, they later say
this
otherwise.
is not only for the ladies now.
I
There are
know.
also
A
guys
lot of
who are
people
like,
that say that
oh,
they
if
always
she
say-
does not do this,
they later say
does it have to be
otherwise.
conditional?
No, it does not have to be conditional. You see, the truth is, if you bring materialism and care and everything, you will fail. But what you should be looking out for is the kind of person. The way you treat me does not guarantee you to be the right person. But the way you are, it what should make me have peace and confidence in you. So I correct them. A man can spend everything. There are some men that will force you to spend on you. There are some men that will never get angry. And ladies think that is peace. That is not peace. That is just drama.
So it's about who he is when he's not with you.
Yes. And not what he does with you. Because it will play out later when there is much closeness. So don't look at those things and judge. Judge what he is outside you.
Okay, if we had to go by that, let's now come back to your earlier submission.
Yes.
Let us start. There's a bone in the neck right now, and we have to take out that bone. Thank God you're here.
Yeah.
Which is the aspect of unfaithfulness
Yes.
in marriage.
Yeah.
Recently, when Davido got married, was planning his wedding, a lot of people were saying, oh, a man who has disgraced you several times, a man who has disrespected you several times, a man who was, yet you still, and then other people were saying, oh, she gives him peace. So my question now is, you are enjoying peace, like some sort of peace,
Yes.
in quotes,
Yeah.
but are you giving her peace? Because from your explanation, that means there is no peace there. She's not getting peace. So now, are we now saying that peace can be replaced with money? So in as much as the person is taking care of you, any other thing he does doesn't matter. And also, on the aspect of unfaithfulness, there's this common word: men are polygamous in nature. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know I don't know which God created them and put that and stole them and added it and said this is what it is. I don't know where they got that lie from the pit of hell, but I would want you to speak to that.
First of all, for Davido, I haven't done everything, and she is still eager and ready, and he is still eager and ready. Sometimes you may not know what is inside the coconut until you break it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
what we see outside the shell may shock you. You may just see some piece of ant inside of it, and that thing that is sounding like water may be something else. So the truth is, in every relationship, there is a secret that only two people knows. Only the two parties knows. They give to the public what they want to know. So between Davido and Chioma, you know, Davido must have done a lot of things, but there must be one thing that is holding Chioma to Davido. It may not be money. Yes, and only her knows that.
Because I mean, she's a fine lady.
She-
Could
she's-
attract anybody
At
she
this
wants.
point now, she's good to go without Davido. I can say that again.
No, I mean
So-
there was a time where they both had a temporary separation.
Yes.
Where there were stories of she being with somebody else,
yeah.
which I mean it was chaotic because you could see that Davido was not even in his right senses at that time, but then somehow, they were back again.
Yes,
And
there's always something. I have practically, experienced that from a friend, where all of us have advised this girl. This guy is our friend. We grew up together. We run things together. It's not good for you. And she is agreeing with us that actually
It's not good.
It's not good. But she is later saying, but she can't see herself walking away.
Why?
That she so the reason is
So,
this.
so what was the one thing for her that kept her in it?
Some things are silly, some does not make sense.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
Some does not make sense. And just like I said, there are some vitalities in a relationship that are very funny and stupid, but they work more than money. If you are a man, try to be a true man. I tell you the truth. Because every journey starts from there. Some people think it's sinful and all that, but I say it's not. If it is sinful, God does not do anything that is sinful, and He has not created anything that is sinful. Okay? So if you are a man, your woman needs you to be a complete man even on bed.
Okay, was it bed that was the problem?
No. I am just saying that there are some things that appear to be very
Oh
stupid,
my goodness.
but they make sense.
Yeah.
There must be something, there must be a memory in the woman's head, such that when the man is not there, in the presence of 10 handsome rich men, that thing will still be lacking. So she's not coming because she's charmed. She's coming because she's seeing something that she has not seen in every man. But my own take is this. It's risky for ladies that think like that. Because if you are choosing one thing out of many, how long are you going to continue defending? Just know that you are going to defend all through your life. If you are not able to change that man to drop the rest and accept yours, that is why I said peace is a selfless thing. That selfless aspect of it is that you come into a relationship with 50 out of 100.
But you did.
And the 50 you are dropping are the ones that you feel your partner may not like.
But he did make a comment regarding, a lady that you knew about who had at least 80% of what you wanted.
And you still
Yes.
did not enter.
Yes, the reason is because that remaining 20 that I saw,
you
to
didn't
her,
see.
it's something that we can manage. But to me, I know
It was
we
a
cannot.
deal breaker.
Yes.
So what if for a lady over a guy, let's say the person even scores 20, but for that 20%, it means heaven and earth to you.
It does not matter what it means to you. What matters is if it is capable of bringing peace.
Okay.
Yes. It does not matter what it means to you. What matters is if it is sustainable and is capable of bringing peace. And I said again that peace is the bedrock. So now, if you are selfless, when you think about what is good for you, you remember that there is somebody that shares in what is good for the both of you. That is why I said relationship is an element that is resistant to the me syndrome. Okay? It's resistant to the me syndrome. So if you want to have a perfect peace in a relationship, you know that there should be no me, but let there be us.
It's not about
Not
you
because
all the
you
time.
like that thing completely, but you share to like it because your partner likes it. So it's not everything. I always tell people that every woman has whatever that is capable of causing breakup in a relationship very close to her.
Yeah.
Every woman, even pastors' wives. But the difference between that woman and another woman is the willingness and the acceptability, the spirit.
All right, let's talk about relationships where this bedrock of peace that you talk about has turned to a floor of violence.
Yeah.
You know, it's catastrophe, is chaos.
This
every
whole I
day.
married my best friend and then 6 months after, best friend is now in double speed.
In simple terms, there's no more peace.
Yes, there's no
So
more
are
peace.
you an advocate of let's stay, let's talk, let's figure it out, let's do whatever we can? Or are you an advocate of once it gets to that point,
Everybody
you
go.
go be?
No, I am not really an advocate of that separation per se. And of course, I don't advise people that does not watch their back when they speed up. Yes. Everything has to be balanced. There are some times you will see yourself with your life partner, a true life partner. You would not know because of an attitude that the both of you has failed to drop because of pride. Let it not come from me. Why must it be me? Why is he not looking at his own self? So if the both of you are humble enough to be able to look into yourself, I always tell people, if you are blaming a particular spec of car that is not correct, and you are changing your car oil with Oando, the next month is Mobile, the other month is Total, and the engine breaks down, and you say, "God, this Toyota is bad," and you buy Honda, and you continue the same attitude, until you come to check yourself. Make I check. Is it because of the oil I'm changing? Some people don't have that ability to look back at themselves. They may be the right partners. Yes, that is why I don't support quick breakup. Because if you break up quick, no matter, there are some people that have broken up for the past 30 years. They have met like 3 different relationships, but still they have not gotten the one that can serve even 0.5% of that, and they say it. I left, I understand I've made a mistake.
I mean, there are even
But I
couples
cannot
that
go-
separate, come back, and
After
remarry
so
again.
many years.
Yes.
And that is because they didn't know they would be able to settle. So once there's a fire, you don't just run because there's a fire. There are some fires that have come to
the
find a
fire is
solution.
threatening your life is in danger.
Yes, if your life is in danger, the first thing I advise people is you don't stay inside danger to quench danger. That is why in a football match, the coach is always outside the pitch. It's not in the football pitch. If he is there, he cannot see everything. So once there's a problem, I advise people, giving a break is not a challenge. Where giving a break is a challenge is when you know your partner. There are some people that if you give them a little yard, you have lost them for
They
life.
have gone to chop everywhere.
Yes. Knowing
Testing
fully
different
that when
restaurants.
we come back, we have come back. After I don't know if it was so you watch your partner very well before you do that. But there is need for a break. And when you are giving that break, give a break to the person that you know is sane.
So you support, like, when there are issues, okay, let's take a small break, work on things from outside, but you have to know the person first before you
have to know the
So
person
if the
first.
person is a person that, so is there any need protecting a person that you know that small break where they give her, he will go enter Market Square?
Yes, you can protect something that is meant for you.
But when they
But if
see
that
as-
person has been seen that because of the character and the attitude, you see, there is not everything that you can change in a woman or in a man. But sometimes we deceive ourselves. So we said, okay, some people say if my man does not cheat, I can manage every other thing.
It's not a deal breaker for
I
them.
pity them. Seriously. There are some things that are weight, there are some things that are heavier than just cheating.
But what if cheating is a deal breaker for them?
If cheating is a deal breaker for the person, it's because the person is ignorant of what she does not know or he does not know.
Would you be fair to say that?
So that what you don't know is your senior, right? You have known about cheating, but the one you don't know that is bigger than cheating is attention.
So what is the attention there? Where attention and cheating
Somebody may not
have
cheat.
no connection.
Somebody may not cheat, okay? Somebody may not cheat, but he or she may be this kind of person that does not like that closeness. You know, some people like gummy. So, but she doesn't cheat. He doesn't cheat, and you can vouch for that. But this person still cannot stay. You know, any moment you just receive call, I want to, and he or she does not want you to come along.
Okay.
And you don't know that that can be a heavy problem tomorrow. And you feel because it's just meager, you can manage it. And they don't look at it. And that is why I say what you don't know is bigger than you. And it's what you should be afraid of. It's not what you know.
Okay, 2 questions before we wrap up that I have. Just one minute each. Now, there are persons that will be watching you. Their face will probably be like this, right? And I'll tell you why, which I want you to clarify.
Yeah.
In the list of deal breakers, people have deal breakers, and of course, we all know what deal breakers are. If somebody says, this one, right? So are you then saying, I want us to be clear that, I dear David stated categorically. So are you saying that a person whose deal breaker is cheating, but not maybe if the man is a thief, she doesn't care, but if he's a cheat, she has a problem with it. Are you saying that he or she is not okay? And are people not allowed to have their deal breakers?
Of course, they are allowed to have their deal breakers. But like I said earlier, some people, you know, sometimes when we take a decision, take for instance, when students are getting admission into school, before you started the process, you wanted to be a barrister, okay, but you never knew that you are a potential engineer, okay. So at that point where your mentality and whatever is carrying barrister, imagine in psychology when a baby is born, it's the stage of tabula rasa, which means it's empty, nothing is there. So at that spot, whatever that goes in is correct. So that time that you know that only cheating is just the deal breaker, that you never knew anything, whatever anybody says is not correct, that does not mean you yourself you are correct. It is only because you have not known what you did not know. That is what I'm saying. So having one thing as a deal breaker and stepping into marriage with your 4 legs because you have been prepared to accept everything, then you should know that you are preparing to accept problems and a lot of things. I am not praying for that, but I know it is certain. Because there are things, problems and lack of peace.
Okay.
Yes. It will get to a point where the very you start saying, you were not like this. No, it was you that was ready to accept this, my me, that was not like this. But you never knew you consented to it unknowingly. Okay. That is why you read the form before you sign. Okay,
so where then is the place of peace? When a woman sits in her house and every day she's wondering, oh my God, who is he sleeping with today? Where then is the peace?
The place of peace in a relationship, like I said earlier, is selflessness. 1, you give up yourself for your partner give up himself for you. Then number 2, in order for you to be able to give up, you drop pride. There's no competition in a relationship. If you bring competition in a relationship, no matter how good you are, you must fail. Godliness does not sustain relationship entirety. Godliness helps the relationship and give it the foundation and the ability to bring alive the conscience that is going to be able to open your eyes to see the invisible. Because if your conscience is dead, you will not be able to see the invisible. So knowledge is not enough, but consciousness is enough. And that's where spirituality comes in. But then your willingness to drop yourself when once you're in a relationship, selflessness. I tell everybody the truth. If you go into a relationship having some things as criteria and principles, you will fail. But just go empty-handed, I beg you. If you accept a man, then accept nothingness. If you accept a woman, accept nothingness. Because you are not accepting Jesus Christ. Neither are you accepting the Virgin Mary. So I wonder why somebody will be So with that, there is peace, and the peace is possible.
Okay.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. I think that. I said I had 2 questions to finalize.
Unfortunately, our time.
No,
is
now
up.
this one is very important. How about Ugo? Help my left now. I have 1 question.
Okay.
So, You will start to beef me like if I ask this question. Okay, so the question is this: what's your thought on age in between two persons?
To me, it has a vital role to play. Yeah, it does. Because sometimes when a man marries a woman that is far older than him, at the beginning, love will cover everything, and the things that brought them together, because there are things that brings people together, it will cover that thing you did not want to see. But it will get to a point one day that she will misbehave and he will continue shouting, and she wouldn't know when she will mistakenly say, "Come, we are not mates." Unconsciously.
No,
So that's where the problem comes. But to me, age is not a challenge in relationship. Yes, it is not at all a challenge, because there are about 40% of people or 30% of people that got married. A friend of mine got married to a woman that is far older than him, and the one that marries the one his seniors have divorced.
Uh-oh.
But that one that marries a woman older than him, they are still together, and he shouts like a man. If a woman is good, she is good, regardless of the age. So age is not, to me,
It's just a number.
it's just a number. It's not a consideration relationship.
All right.
Okay, I think
But attitude and character does.
before we go break my head, let me just leave my other questions to maybe another time.
There's still a lot more, but time will not permit us.
Thank you so much, Ajay David, for coming on the show. It has really been an interesting time. High five.
I think I'll get a handshake.
That is it, a proper one.
Oh, really? You have been, what do you call it?
Another one, until she stopped talking.
What?
Let's make it 3.
Thank you.
Really? Really?
I love ourselves too.
You follow him and be going.
Besides all the agitations, we love ourselves too.
Oh, I
Wetin man do
see.
man.
What you man? All right, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
the
you,
show.
thank you.
We do hope that maybe another time you could grace us with your presence, and then we could, just have a chat on the show and talk about different things, and possibly answer some questions. Maybe the other time we're going to bring you on, we're going to have some people sending questions, and then we'll just see how we can answer some of these questions on set. But we'll just say that our time is far gone. We have 9 minutes to 10 o'clock already. So thank you guys for staying with us from 7 till this time. We had a great time, myself and Ugo, and I'm sure that you've been able to learn a thing or two from the show this morning, or anytime you get to watch it on our YouTube channel. We just hope that you get 1 or 2 things, from what we've discussed today. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and of course, follow us on Instagram, on our Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit our website on
www.arabianradiotv.com. Ugochukwu Matimere is my name. Adios.